Hi, I'm Alexia and I help people to clear their head trash and to find their mojo. And what does that mean? Well, when people have lost their mojo, they've got no direction in life, or they're stuck, or they don't know what to do next. And often it's because they have all this head trash. So first place of call is really to sort of examine what the head trash is, get rid of it, and then help them reconnect to who they are and communicate that really clearly so they can get what they want in life. So clearing head trash ends up being a massive part of that. So the main bulk of my work in helping people to clear their head trash is within the context of helping them to discover, define and refine their personal brand so they can communicate who they are authentically and clearly to the world. My background is in sales and marketing, and I spent 15 years working in the health and beauty industry. And in that time, I was fortunate or unfortunate to see a lot of companies rise very quickly, fall down. I was made redundant several times, and that really helped me to understand what makes a business work and what makes it not work. But also I had to lead teams, and I really got an understanding of what makes people tick and how to get people to get behind the big goal. But I started losing sight of, not losing sight, but not really enjoying it as much. And I found I took some time out and discovered coaching and personal development. And that's when I really discovered my passion was really helping people directly. So I trained in that area. I trained as a coach. I trained in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, thought field therapy as well, an energy psychology technique that's familiar with people that watch Paul McKenna's work on TV. And that's where I really started discovering my real passion. But then I had to find my niche as a coach. And so then I looked back to my industry, where I came from, my history, and sales and marketing. I thought, hang on a minute, there's this trend, personal branding. A lot of people are talking about that right now. It's very competitive out there. You really need to stand out, communicate who you are in a very clear and compelling way. And actually, that's all about self-marketing. So that's why I helped find my niche, was to help people discover, define and refine their personal brands. And using tools like NLP, like TFT and reflective repatterning, which is my favourite tool at the moment, it really helps people to understand who they are so they're able to communicate that clearly and therefore get more of what they want in their work, in their life, in whatever. In terms of I think what's pioneering, what's new, is that the new technique that I've discovered, that I'm pioneering, that I'm sort of championing really on behalf of the person that created it, is positioning, and is the idea that we have head trash, that we have things that are stopping us from being awesome, and that we can be okay with that, share it and talk about it and not feel ashamed that we have these things that are stopping us from being great. And so I think up until now, talking therapies, such as counselling or psychotherapy, a lot of them feel, a lot of people are embarrassed about maybe having a therapist or going to see a counsellor, and they might not mention it at work, or they'll keep it very quiet. And maybe the word on the street is, you only need a therapist if you've got mental health issues, or if you're going through a tough divorce, or suicide, heaven forbid. And actually it's not. We have stress at work. We have lots of things that get in the way of us enjoying life. And it's okay to A, talk about it, and B, be open and just get it fixed and move on. We don't have to live with this stuff. We can actually get rid of it. And the thing about reflective repatterning, and the tool that I love, is that it actually does get rid of this stuff. We don't have to live with it anymore. So the idea that you can clear your head trash is a reality. And hey, why not go and have a head trash session in your lunch hour because you've just had a Barney with your boss? Sort it out, get back to work, be focused, hit the ground running and get back to doing a great job without having to drag your heels, get stressed about it, go home, chew your partner's ear off, not sleep, go back to work with a hump on, tired, not being able to hit the ground running again. And so you can now just clear this head trash, let go of it, move on and carry on being happy. So I think that's the new concept, that's the pioneering bit, that's the bit that I'm proud of. It's creating a need or identifying this gap where, it's okay to talk about this stuff and get rid of it and move on and be happy. And the great thing about this is actually we can do it to ourselves. We don't need somebody else to do it. This is stuff that we can own, and we don't have to have somebody else that can help us through this. We can help ourselves and we can be empowered. And I think that's the most powerful thing, is that if we can own our own destinies in that sense and help ourselves, then we truly feel more confident and able to have the life that we want. So that's where I like to help people sort of be completely in control of their lives, basically. When I say I clear head trash, some people are very clear on what that is, and other people are like, well, what is head trash? So for me, if I had to give a definition of head trash, it would be the accumulation of negative patterns of thoughts and behaviours that lie at a subconscious level that prevent you from being awesome. And so what is that really? That could be like self-sabotaging patterns of thought and behaviour. When you just keep doing the same thing and it's not helping you, it's landing you in a mess every time, but you just keep doing it. Or it could be a fear or a phobia where you just don't want to take a certain line of action because you're just afraid or worried, or there's something stopping you from going there. Or it could be a belief that you have about yourself. I could never do that. I'll fail at that. I'll not be able to do that. Where we don't put ourselves forward in certain situations because we believe we can't do it. And so all those things is really sort of head trash. But it's also emotions that I call these stalking emotions. You know, you kind of drag them around with you all day. And wherever you turn up at a party, at work, they're there next to you. So it could be anger, it could be stress, it could be worry. And maybe when you have anger, you always respond angrily to a situation, even though it doesn't really warrant it. And you just can't help yourself. It's this default setting that you think, why do I keep doing this? And that is that sort of inappropriate use of emotion, either through persistent or consistency, is what we can help to reduce and take away. So what might that look like? That could be, for example, I was working with somebody yesterday who gets so stressed when the kids are running around and it feels like there's chaos around her and she feels like she's losing control. And so we just worked with her being okay with the feeling of losing control and actually not being bothered by that anymore, because it's going to happen anyway. You might as well be okay with it, because then you just won't get stressed. And I got a text from her today saying, can't believe it, there's chaos everywhere and I'm all right, I'm happy. And I'm able to be much more present with the children and have fun with them rather than worrying that the place looks chaotic. So it's little tiny things that actually could make a huge difference to your life. Being okay with chaos, being okay with mess, not being wound up by that person beeping at you in the car or in the street because you don't mind being cut up. Cut up to your heart's content when I'm driving my car. I don't mind, you know, when you're in your car driving and somebody's annoying you and you end up screaming out the window, they've gone off. You're the one left in your car bubbling away mad, get to your meeting, it comes out, you bite your mate's head off because you're still angry. The only person suffering in that situation is you. So the best thing you can do is change how you respond to that situation. You can't start changing everybody else. If you want to change the world, start with number one first. So that's what I help you to do, is not allow these external triggers to bring the worst out in you and for you to just be able to swan through and be happy with it all. My favourite tool of choice, which I might have mentioned in helping people to clear the head trash, is reflective repatterning. And it's a new technique in the field of energy psychology. So it's working with the energy system. So if I was to say to you, you know, we've got, for you to function as a happy human being, there's 4 main parts to you. There's your body, which obviously does heart beating, all that kind of stuff. There's your conscious mind that's listening to me now, I hope. And there's your subconscious, which is where all your memories and all your default settings are. But if you, let's say you have an issue, so I had a really bad fear of injections, and I worked on clearing my injection fear with NLP, but NLP works with your subconscious mind, and so, but injections hurt. So even though I managed to shut the little voice in the head that went, oh, this is going to hurt, this is going to hurt, every time I went back to have an injection, my arm would tense, and then I had a tense muscle, and it would hurt. So even though I cleared the little voice, my body would go, yeah, but it does hurt. So the fear never went away. So if you want to clear something truly, you need to clear it out of mind and body. And for you to do that, you need to do it through the energy system, because the energy system is the interface between mind and body. And it goes in, pulls it out of both, and off it goes. And so if you want to clear it out of mind and body, you do it via the energy system and you use energy psychology techniques. And so reflective repatterning is one of those. And so we're able to really go very, very deep within your subconscious and clear the programming, or clear whatever it is, those associations that you have in your mind and body with various experiences and emotions and traumas and memories and all those kind of things. And it literally just does a little bit of a cleanup operation and just pulls it out. And it comes out in the form of tears trickling down your face, or energy trickling down your legs, or you might feel it, you might have a big yawn, all this kind of stuff. It happens during a session, and that's basically the energy shifting. And so reflective repatterning is the only technique really that has any hope of getting anywhere near 100% of clearing a problem. And so it's very powerful. It happens instantly. You'll notice this difference there and then, and once you've fixed something, you won't need to go back. You might need to have it, let's say you have another experience later on that kind of puts something similar back in its place. But it's like when you clear the trash out at home, you can have a clear out, but there's more trash that builds up because you go about your daily business, and whoop, before you know it, you've got to put another clear out in. So the great thing about this technique is it clear it out. You won't need to revisit that issue probably again in that particular guise. But sure enough, yeah, it might pop in another version, or there'll be something else similar that might come in its place, and that'll need addressing too. I do what I do because I just love doing this. I think when I was at work, and I used to love releasing the potential in my staff and doing, seeing them be great. And But you can't really do that much in a work environment because you have a lot of deadlines, a lot of other things that you need to be doing, like generating sales or, boring things like numbers, Whereas in this environment, I'm really able to help people to enjoy life and be happy. That's its very core. And when I get calls and emails from people telling me, like, for example, I had a woman I was helping through a pregnancy. She was utterly terrified of the idea of giving birth, something that I was personally very familiar with because that was a place that I used to be at. And she was really stressed the whole of her pregnancy, couldn't bear to think about the day that was looming. And we worked on all her fears, on all her pregnancy. And then I got just the best email that even just now makes me come out in goosebumps saying, I finally found peace and I'm enjoying my pregnancy and I can't wait. And I'm so looking forward to meeting the little one. And I've never felt that before. And that's why I do it. Even now, it just chokes me up a bit. And yeah, I had to make, so even if you can change the world just by one person at a time and make all these little ripples of happiness go out, then that's what living's about for me. That's why I do it.